All right. Hey, everyone. How's it going? This is Kelvin for the Res Metal Podcast. I'm talking to Dominik of Downfall of Gaia. How are you doing, Dominik?
I'm doing fine. Thanks a lot for having me and the band. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks again for taking the time to talk with me. Like I said, before we recorded, I found out about Downfall of Gaia on the 2012 album Suffocating in the Swarm of Cranes, the second full-length album, and kind of just been following the band from there. And Downfall Guy has a new album coming out on March 17th, Silhouettes of Disgust. And so we can definitely talk about that. But for people who aren't familiar with you or Downfall Guy, can you just kind of tell me about yourself? How the band started and kind of who's in the band now?
Yeah, we are around since 2008. We had a few lineup changes, but now we are kind of back in the almost original lineup from 2008. We started in the DIY punk hardcore crust scene, and things grew over the years. Also, our sound grew, more and more influences found their way into our sound, and from the more punky days in the beginning, things became more, I don't know, post metal, sludgy, then black metal. There are a lot of influences that it's a blend of a lot. It's tough to describe the own sound of the band when people ask me this question, but overall I would say right now we are at a point where it's a blend of crust and post black metal. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I got a chance to listen to the album. It was a promo that was sent. And yeah, I can hear that crust sound, that that
Yeah.
drum beat, that kind of carries some of the opening songs. And then then I can definitely hear that post metal sludge, that kind of picks up the pace and then kind of opens up the sound. But yeah, I haven't got a chance to check out the earliest albums, but I read that, you mentioned that you're going back and kind of revisiting early stuff from your previous albums. So I think that's really, really, really cool. You get to kind of go back on that. And the where are you located again? Sorry.
Me, I'm in Berlin, Germany right
Okay.
now. But the
Okay.
band is spread over two different countries. Our drummer, he lives in New York, and the other two guys, they live in Hamburg, Germany. So we are all living in different areas.
All right. Cool. Um, but yeah, I don't have my video working here, but I do have the Suffocating in the Swarm of Cranes record with me, and yeah, I still listen to this on a regular basis. And I know with like the albums, kind of the earlier albums, the song structures were more like you could say like long, that you had like 8-10 minute songs. And then I noticed on this one the songs are more condensed. The was that something you guys did did that intentionally? Like, were you kind of like wanting to write more shorter songs compared to the older material?
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely had that in mind before we started with the songwriting. As you already said, back in the days or on the basically on every record, we had the more longer songs, like 7 to 10 minute tracks. But this time we wanted to do things a little bit different and keep the songs short, but in your face. Don't get too crazy with the atmospheric parts. And it was definitely something we had in mind before we started with everything. And we talked about that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Um, and then when you guys, wrote and recorded this new album, I know like 2010, 2012 doesn't seem that long ago, but did you notice any, or how has like making an album and, like promoting it changed since like 2010, 2012?
It's I would say there's a lot. These days, the internet, I mean, there was the internet back then, but it was a little bit different. There was not this Spotify war going on. There was not Instagram stuff, and also Facebook. We started with MySpace. There was, I don't know. I think it was a little bit different back then because bands really tried to get on the road and play their record and do something with it. These days, it feels somehow, I don't want to talk bad about anything of this, but it feels a little bit different because everyone's just on the hunt for the next big clicks on Spotify or Instagram or whatever. So things changed really. Also, when it comes to the promotion of something, it's a little bit of a different world than it was just 10 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely relate. I mean, back when I first started listening to your band, I'm a big fan of just like following the record label. And so anytime a band comes out like on like, for your case, Metal Blade, I always want to check it out because I know Metal Blade's a good source for music. But now there's just so many like record labels now. I think I remember like 2010, like there was, a couple, I would say maybe like 10 or so record labels that I could follow. And now there's just so many, and then there's just so many bands now. And then with the internet too, it's just, it's just a big,
So much,
it's just an immense source of like music.
Exactly. And everyone is focusing on releasing just singles. This is also the kind of new thing. Everyone is just releasing singles for playlists and not real albums anymore. It's I don't know. It changed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think it's just like our attention spans are shortening, and just, like you said, the TikTok and social media, you gotta kind of hit with a single song. But yeah, that's a big change. I'm glad you guys chose to write a new album. But everyone should definitely check out that new album, Silhouettes of Disgust. Can you kind of talk about like the title and the theme of the album, Silhouettes of Disgust?
Yeah, sure. It's basically it's a concept record, kinda. It kind of tells the story of 8 different people in a fictional metropolis, with 8 different stories. It's nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. It's just regular daily stuff like social pressure from the outside, pressure from work. You just have to play the game somehow. Otherwise you will fall through the cracks. And it's just pretty regular topics, but 8 different stories and 8 different songs. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I did see the music video for Bodies as Driftwood. If people haven't seen it, it's like the music video just kind of depicts like, seems like loneliness of like, everyday working life, and kind of how that can like just burn you out and make you feel like depressed. Did you write any of the lyrics from like personal experience or experiences of people you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not 100% an autobiography, but it's definitely, there's always something of myself in the lyrics. And if it's not about me, then it's about stuff that's happening around me. So I always need a little bit of reality when it comes to writing lyrics. It's not something super fictional like a movie or so. It's always something that's going on in my head out of reasons for that time. Yeah.
Okay. And I kind of read the background of the band, and you mentioned that you were rejoined by one of the original guitarists, Peter Wolf. How was that like working with him again on this new record?
Oh, it's great. It's great to have him back. It feels like being back in the more early days. Yeah, he left 2015 to focus on family and other stuff, and now he's back in the band, and it feels like he never left. It's for us, it's the perfect lineup. We grew up in the same scene, and we visited the same concerts and whatever. We kind of grew together, and now he's back in the band. So this is something else than having just someone in the band playing guitar. It's a good feeling to have him back. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm glad he's back because the first, or actually, the second album is when I kind of picked up on Downfall of Gaia. So that's awesome. He's back. And then I'm out here in the United States. I'm in Arizona, the southwest part of the country. But I know you guys have toured and played shows in the U.S. Do you guys plan on returning to the U.S. for this new album?
We would love to, yeah, but that's what we say since years. It's so tough these days to get over again, but we really would love to. We try to do something with this album, yeah, for sure. But I don't want to promise anything. We tried it with the one before and the one before. I think our last time in the US was 2015, yeah. So it's a long time ago, but we really, 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 really trying hard to come back finally.
Yeah, I haven't been able to see you guys perform live. I think at that time during those US tours you did, I was just living in another area where I wasn't even close to like one of the live dates. But yeah, it'd be awesome to see. And then when you guys did tour the US, what were some like places here in the country that stood out, or was there like a particular show or venue that stood out?
We played St. Vitus in New York. That was amazing. Also Philadelphia was pretty cool, but especially the East Coast. The East Coast was really good to us. Everything in between was so la la, so la la. Also the West Coast was also nice, Seattle, Portland, but yeah, especially for shows, for us, maybe it's different for other bands. It was the East Coast was the best for us, especially New York, Philadelphia. Chicago was also nice. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I'm in Arizona. It's kind of like it's very spread out here. Like I'd say it's like, yeah, you'd have to drive like 5, 6 hours to like one of the bigger cities. But I mean it's cool. I live out here and I work out here, so it's okay. And the thing that gets me by is just like listening to music and finding bands. And but yeah, if I definitely want to go to a show, I definitely have to drive like, maybe 4 hours, and or maybe even like I have to like plan it like a trip, like like a business trip. I got to find like a place to stay, and I got to make sure I have my vehicle, my car is working. It's kind of a journey for me, but
Yeah, sounds
um,
like.
yeah, but it's cool. I mean, I grew up out here, so
Yeah,
it's not
I
so
don't
much of a
I
change.
don't want to talk any bad words about the area. The landscape and everything was just mind blowing. We just had not really much people showing up to the shows where obviously not much seen people are around. So we just played shows for 2 to 10 people. so
Yeah.
so it's but the rest was awesome. Just being in the area was just awesome. Driving through Utah or Arizona, New Mexico, stuff like that. That was really mind blowing for us as with our tiny European landscapes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough around this time of year too, because the roads are really bad. Like it snowed like 8 inches overnight, and like yeah, I just didn't even want a chance at like getting driving on the road. So but yeah, that's cool. Hopefully you guys get to come here, whether you play just in the east or some part of the country. Hopefully you guys get to come here. Um, and then I usually like to ask about what kind of new music or new bands have you been listening to lately?
I'm so bad with this question. To be honest, I don't follow that much new stuff. Um, of course, sometimes there are records that grab my attention out of nowhere, but I don't follow too much.
Mhm.
I would say the latest new record I listened to, ooh, maybe Brutus from Belgium. I like that one, but that's about it, I guess, for newer records. Yeah, there's not much that
Yeah,
yeah, that's in my mind on
yeah.
my right now.
is there a certain album that you like find yourself listening to a lot, like something older?
Yeah, definitely. For example, I don't know, Tragedy, Wang, I can't speak the title, but one of the tragedy records are from Ashes Rise, Nightmares, for example, or even the latest Power Trip record. This is how is it called? Nightmare Logic.
Yeah,
This,
yeah,
this is also a fantastic record. So there are definitely records that end up in my playlist every now and then. Yeah, the same records over and
yeah,
over again. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I first started listening to like heavy music in like I want to say like 2000, year 2000. So yeah, the stuff I like go back to the most is probably like 2005, 2006. For some reason, like that time period, I find myself going back and listening to the most. And I think lately I just been listening to a lot of Nile, you know, the US death metal band Nile.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've been listening just I don't know why. I think maybe I think at that around that time I was just like, you know, finding more and more heavy music. And you know, I think I just turned 21 at the time. So then it just, yeah, I guess that's a maybe maybe I'm just like reminiscing and revisiting that time of my life. But
I can
yeah,
relate. I can relate. Yeah.
yeah. And then yeah, when I found about Downfall of Gaia, I was just, you know, I was like 11 years ago now, and I was just kind of still trying to figure out what I was trying to do with my life. And but you know, I always had some good music to listen to. So yeah, thank you for the interview, and thanks for making such amazing music for us to enjoy.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me and of course for the kind words. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
no problem.